Luka's new era just collided with LeBron's shadow. No more king. Now it's Luka's Lakers. And the pressure? Absolutely brutal.
Well, I think they're going to have one of the best offensive teams in the league. They still have one of the best offensive players in Luka Dončić. They got enough offensive firepower to win games in the regular season. There's only 4 teams in the Western Conference that I feel like that are better than them on paper. The Nuggets, Spurs, OKC, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Outside of that, they're right in the middle of the pack. But here's the thing. Tim, you know this, the middle of the pack doesn't mean nothing to the Laker fan base. I don't give a damn if it was Jesus Christ owning the Lakers, it would still be the same standard, meaning that it's championship or bust. And so now you start this new era of the official era of Luka Dončić has officially started, and now he's on the clock because the Laker fan base, they're spoiled. You know, they're built on championships.
But then the real nightmare surfaced. The Lakers weren't just entering Luka's era, they were suddenly being judged without LeBron. And the message from the NBA was brutal.
Do you think there is a tie to the Lakers not being on opening night to LeBron directly to LeBron? Yep.
It all ties together. And I mean, look, they're going to play opening week, Lakers Warriors, but it's not the same feel. I mean, the Warriors aren't the same team as they were before. Well, for worse, they basically are the same team as they were last season, but it doesn't have the same kind of punch that you associate Steph Curry and LeBron James, and maybe it's a meaningful playoff preview. Here it's just, okay, Steph is going to be healthy, Luka is going to be healthy, it could be entertaining.
Does opening night, Mark, mean anything to you? It doesn't mean anything to me.
No.
In general?
Yeah, I mean, like you play 82. Christmas matters.
Christmas
I
is
think
the one
opening night matters.
Yeah.
I think simply from the standpoint that only 4 teams play on it. I think that in and of itself, I always find it to be interesting just to see who those 4 teams are. And obviously, it's going to be the defending champs. But
if we're going by interest and how interesting these teams are, even if LeBron was on the Lakers, I still think he might not be in my top. The Lakers might not be in my top 4 because Spurs Thunder was so good last year. And I love that. We're digging back in
each other.
Yeah, we're digging back in on that. And then you have the Knicks, who won the championship has earned the right. The champions earn the right always to play in that game. And unless the Lakers were going to open in New York City, maybe there's not a spot for them on opening night.
Do you think it's odd that now this year, obviously, there's 6 teams and not just 4? And so there's
the 1 p.m. game or whatever.
You have the Celtics and Pistons, the Sixers and Knicks, and the Thunder versus the Spurs.
Disrespectful to the Lakers.
All right, so not the only one.
No, look, this is Luka Dončić's team.
Yep.
Right? And I think the next chapter of Lakers basketball will be defined by how he handles that responsibility. And that is the storyline on opening night. That will be the storyline on March 1st. If things go great, that'll be the storyline on June 1st. This is the Luka chapter of the Lakers. The roster has been built in his image. The transition has fully begun, and we'll see. This summer was a big, I think, organizationally was a big, what's the word I'm looking for? Sign of belief in the coaching staff, right?
Yep.
That we've gone now 2 years with a group that has exceeded preseason win expectations, at least in the eyes of the gamblers, right? They've been over the last 2 years. And they've given him a roster of players that have sort of levels of untapped potential, right? The Lakers are in trouble, legitimately in trouble. If the best version of Walker Kessler has already played, if the best version of Quentin Grimes has already played, if the best version of Sandro Mamukelashvili has already played, the bet with this roster is that there are still better versions of these players. You know what I mean? To be unlocked with role, to be unlocked with situation and opportunity. And I think there is. You believe, and you should believe in JJ Redick and the coaching staff because they've done this already with rosters that weren't as good or weren't as thoughtfully constructed, I would say, right? That were born more out of the chaos of the Luka trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to build off of what Dan said, the thing that should leave Lakers and their fans empowered is that at the very worst, they're still a second-tier Western Conference team. So with what Dan's talking about, that there's a lot of upside, this isn't upside of a young developing team that's going to try to claw their way, into the play-in or be in a rebuilding team. They're already a second-tier team. So this upside, whether it's this year or next year, they can grow organically into becoming one of the elite teams.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think there was anything they could have done this summer, minus make all the moves they made and still somehow managed to have kept LeBron James and been a top tier team. There wasn't a pathway to catching San Antonio or Oklahoma City this summer. There wasn't. I've said it here. I'll say it everywhere. I think the thing that's crystallized most for me about the NBA and kind of the way to win in the NBA right now, right? Minus obviously being healthy and having some good luck, is you have to have one of the great players, the truly great players. And then you have to build a roster around that great player that accentuates his strengths and hides his weaknesses as best as possible. Mm-hmm. Right? And the Lakers, I think, have that great player, Luka Dončić.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this summer they took really big steps towards hiding some of his weaknesses and accentuating a lot of his strengths. Mm-hmm. Are they all the way there? I don't think so. Not quite yet. But, like Mark said, either this year or next year, that's the path they need to be on, and they need to hit it kind of ground running.
The NBA also released, as you guys mentioned already, the Christmas Day slate. Finals rematch to start the day with the Spurs taking on the Knicks. And you got Heat Celtics. Then you got Sixers versus the Lakers, Thunder versus the Timberwolves, and then the Nuggets versus the Warriors. This will be the 28th consecutive season the Lakers will play on Christmas Day, and it'll be the second time, first since 2001, that the Sixers and Lakers play each other on Christmas. So do you
know neither team scored 90 points in that game? The NBA put that, I think it was 88-83 or something like that.
Back in 2001?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun if that was the case?
Yeah, crazy.
So out of those 5 games on Christmas, is LeBron's return to LA the biggest?
Yeah. Yes. What's second? What are we fighting for second?
Let me go back and look again.
You could say Knicks Spurs.
No, I'm
Heat
good.
Celtics.
No. I'm good.
I'm kidding. Knicks,
yeah, I guess
Spurs?
you're a finals rematch,
Why
right?
did you scoff at
NBA
that?
Finals.
No, you're right.
Wemby had 40 plus.
Maybe we should put that on your social media.
Well, okay, Allie, I already said that I sometimes forget to pay attention. LeBron, I see the world very much through my own eyes. LeBron coming back to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Biggest game.
Okay.
Luka Dončić finally has the Lakers to himself, and that sounds like freedom until you realize what comes with it.
LeBron James is gone. The excuses are gone. The transition period is over.
This is no longer LeBron's Lakers.
This is Luka's Lakers. And according to the argument around this team, Los Angeles could have one of the NBA's best offenses. Luka remains one of basketball's elite offensive engines, and the roster has enough firepower to win plenty of regular season games.
But there's a brutal reality. On paper, the Lakers may still sit behind the Nuggets, Spurs, Thunder, and Timberwolves in the Western Conference. That puts them somewhere in the middle. And for a Lakers fan base built on championships, middle is not good enough. And that is where the pressure becomes absolutely vicious, because Luka isn't just replacing a superstar, he's replacing the expectation that came with one. Then came the opening night controversy.
The Lakers were not part of the October 20 opening night triple-header. Their opening week matchup against Golden State comes October 21, with Luka facing Steph Curry.
And suddenly, people started asking the uncomfortable question, what came first?
Did the NBA just move on from the Lakers?
Maybe not. The league still gave Los Angeles a massive spotlight, but the symbolism matters. Last year, LeBron and Steph carried a completely different level of cultural electricity.
Now it's Luka versus Steph.
That's not nothing, but it's different. And the real answer won't come on opening night anyway. It will come when the Lakers start losing, and fans start asking whether this team can actually contend. But if opening night created doubt, Christmas Day is where the NBA delivered the ultimate test. On Christmas Day, the Sixers come to Los Angeles.
LeBron James returns to face Luka Dončić and the Lakers.
And suddenly, the old era walks straight into the new one. The Lakers will make their 28th consecutive Christmas Day appearance, while Philadelphia and Los Angeles meet on Christmas for only the second time, the first since 2001. The rest of the slate is stacked. Spurs Knicks, Heat Celtics, Thunder Timberwolves, and Nuggets Warriors.
But let's be honest. LeBron coming back to Los Angeles is the game everybody will be watching. Because that night, Luka doesn't get to escape LeBron's shadow. He has to prove he can stand in it. And that brings us to the real question, whether this roster can turn Luka's era from a headline into a championship threat. The Lakers' bet is simple. They believe Luka is the great player you build around. And this summer, they tried to do exactly that. Accentuate his strengths, protect his weaknesses, and unlock more from players like Walker Kessler, Quentin Grimes, and Sandro Mamukelashvili. If those players have another level, this team has serious upside. Because the Lakers don't need to climb from the bottom. They are already viewed as a second-tier Western Conference team. The problem? Second tier doesn't hang championship banners. And Los Angeles doesn't measure success by being respectable. It measures success by June. So forget the question of whether this is still LeBron's Lakers. It isn't. The question now is much more dangerous. The question now is much more dangerous. Can Luka Dončić carry the weight of the Lakers' championship standard? Because the Luka era has officially begun. And now, he's on the clock.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.